Hey everyone, and welcome to this month's edition of Tales from the CTO. My name is Jamie from ProServeIT, and glad you can make it. Today, we're going to have a chat about technology roadmaps, and specifically a couple of points or items that we feel kind of continuously come up when we talk to a few customers around the idea of technology and roadmaps in general. So to kind of set the foundation for this, we found it's helpful to kind of go through the framework or the model by which we build these roadmaps for our customers. And when we look at IT or technology for a business, we think of it through the lens of a house or the analogy of a house, in a sense where you have security as the foundation of your house, insights and automation as the roof, the piece that protects your house, and then multiple different rooms that sit inside your house, your infrastructure, your departmental applications, brand experience as personified by both customer experience and employee experience, productivity, and your core business application, your most important business application. And we find that when we build a roadmap, it's really important that we focus on not just one of these, but all of these. That doesn't mean we need to overinvest or do a million things per individual room, but we do need to make sure that if we're going to not invest in any of these rooms, we do so intentionally because we feel that we don't need to. We're not going to slip too far into a laggard state. We're not going to get behind, and we're going to continue to meet our business's needs as we feel is appropriate. So to kind of visualize that, what we try to do is say, okay, each of these rooms should have a plan. And when we're building out that plan for the year, we can put, kind of itemized projects or milestones, if you will, that we're looking to accomplish. And some people we find, it's helpful to put dollar signs or budget to these little balloons. But for us, there's a few things that we do when we look at this. So first and foremost, as I mentioned or alluded to before, if we're going to have no investments in a room, hopefully we feel A, that's intentional, and B, we're doing it because we feel it's justified, i.e., we are comfortable. We've just gone through a major ERP replacement, for example, and therefore we feel we don't really need to focus on our core business application for the next 12 months, 18 months. Or we feel we'd already actually overinvested 2 years ago, not overinvested, but we invested sufficiently to the point where we even moved into a leader quadrant. And we are comfortable with our position, and we can continue to reevaluate the roadmap. This doesn't need to be a stagnant document that does not become updated. But at this point in time, we feel it's comfortable that we don't have, for example, a large body of investments inside of, if you see here, for example, there's a chunk where we don't have investment beside brand experience, and that's probably intentional. The other thing we can do is look at this and say, hey, in December, right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 initiatives that are going on concurrently. And so we may decide to look at that and say, well, what do we do? How do we prioritize this? Are we going to be able to actually make progress on 5 major initiatives all at the same time within the same month? Or do we need to move some of these to stagger them to give our team time from a change management perspective to respond to and actually take advantage of the investments that we're making? So prioritization is key, and we feel that when we visualize it in this capacity, it allows us the ability to manipulate and prioritize our initiatives. And finally, like I mentioned, we talked about the gaps, we talked about the prioritization. We also need to look at and think about, are these investments that we have staggered here getting us to the point where we're moving out of, let's call it a laggard category for each of these rooms of the house? Are they moving us into fast follower, or perhaps are they moving us into a leader quadrant? Right? But what we don't want to have happen is for the next 12 months, we are in a laggard state, and we're going to exit the next 12 months or 18 months and still be in a laggard state. Because the risk is, if we are in a laggard state now, we're probably going to be in a really laggard state in 12 months because technology continues to move. And that's the good thing and bad thing about technology is it does require consistent care and feed. It does require continual investment in order to maximize the output and to achieve the business objectives that we're going for. So to kind of summarize, we kind of see things in 3 areas. It is really important that we prioritize your key investment areas. We need to know what is most important and make sure that we spend the appropriate amount of time to move our big rocks. We need to avoid slipping into a laggard state. We need to look and set objectives of at least, let's call it a fast follower. We want to get to that fast follower state. We don't want to be in a laggard for any of the major or critical sections or rooms of the house that pertain to our business. And finally, we want to pay attention to any gaps in the roadmap. The visualization of that gives us the opportunity to say at a glance, are we underinvesting in certain areas? Is this going to position ourselves to where we want to be or where we expect to be 12 months or 18 months from now? Because that's critically important. So when we understand this from a technology roadmap perspective, hopefully it helps you kind of position things or frame things in your mind over how to build these roadmaps yourself. If you'd like to have a conversation, we'd love to have a conversation with you around if you need help to build this first early version of a roadmap, understand the prioritization, figure out how we get through and define what laggard looks like for your business, how to move out of a laggard category. We'd love to chat. We do have an offer around a light technology roadmap. This is meant to be very rapid at the senior executive or CEO level. Please reach out, CEO or CTO at ProServeIT.com. Thanks for your time.